All right. Welcome everyone to the first episode of Highly Contested. How is everyone doing? I am here with my co-host Bruno. Bruno, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm finally excited that we're getting this podcast underway. I know this is a project that me and you have been thinking about doing for a couple of months now, and I'm finally happy that it's all coming together slowly but surely. Let's dive right into it, man. Let's go ahead and let our followers know what exactly we're going to cover on this podcast. So on this podcast, we're going to give you guys a little bit of everything. We're going to be talking football, soccer, and basketball. For football, what we're going to do is basically every week we're going to come out with power rankings similar, to what the NFL and ESPN do. We're going to give you our version of that. We're going to we're going to do a little playoff bracket as well. We're going to predict, who makes the playoffs, wild card, division winners, and ultimately our Super Bowl winners. I'm also going to dive a little bit into the Miami Dolphins because I'm a big Dolphins fan. So I'll be dissecting a little bit of our season and how exactly it's going. And Dario's going to be covering his Eagles. He's a big Eagles fan, so he'll be diving a little bit into that. So as far as football, that's what we're going to do with that. So I'll go ahead and let you talk about the soccer aspect of the show.
Wonderful. All right. So for soccer, it's going to be very broad and encompassing when it comes to major leagues. We're going to be touching a lot on the European leagues that are making a big impact, mainly because that's where the big players are. That's what we want to see. Those are the major players that at the end of the day, we end up seeing in our national squads. So anything from England, Spain, we're going to be touching a little bit on, again, like you said, the Portuguese league, a little bit on the French when it comes to PSG, a little bit of the German. We have Dortmund, Bayern. So a little bit of all the major leagues. We'll also be touching here and there when it comes to international soccer, as we are currently on the international break. This week or today, actually, we'll be talking a little bit further about the international break, what games are coming up, what major games to look out for, mainly when it comes to all the teams and all the standings, which is very, very close at this point.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll be keeping an eye on all those things, and just to give you a little touch on everything. Yeah,
I'm definitely excited to dive into that, especially with the South American qualifier. But we'll get into that in a little bit. And then as far as basketball goes, it's basically going to be the same thing as we're going to do for our football. We're going to do a power ranking as well. But with the NBA, because the games are, they pretty much play every other day, we're thinking of doing a ranking system maybe like once every 2-3 weeks. We'll see how that goes. We're actually going to pick our early season, who we think is going to win MVP. We're going to give you guys 2 candidates of our choices. So that'll be really fun. And then for the future shows, we're going to do our top 8 from the Eastern and Western Conference. That'll be fun as well.
for sure.
And today we're going to hit a little bit on the free agency and these players and where they have gone. And I'm really excited for the NBA season, man. I can't wait for it to start. So that's basically it as far as what we're going to be covering. So let's dive right into it, man. I'm excited. Let's rock and roll. Let's start with the international break. It's international break. The World Cup is right around the corner. This is what we live for, man. The World Cup is by far the biggest, best tournament ever. Like I'm so hyped for this. I can't believe it's already been another 4 years, which is crazy. Just how fast time flies. But anywho, Dario, I want to give you the mic now. I want you to go over. I want you to go over the Argentina game and how you guys are looking. So I'll go ahead.
All right, so we'll go ahead and start a little bit on what the standings are pretty much in the South American qualifiers right now. It's looking so close. I mean, if you take a look at the table, there's 5 or 6 teams that are possibly able to make it. I mean, Brazil is already a runaway case right now. That's not even anything important.
Yeah, that's done with. They're
I
number
mean,
one.
they've already did it. Now Uruguay, for that aspect, it's also, I think, already done. They have 27 points. They're in second place. They have clinched on to the playoffs at this point, unless they magically happen to lose both games, which none of us, I think, see that happening. Now, here's where it gets interesting. We have in third place, Colombia, fourth place, Peru, fifth place, Argentina, sixth place, Chile, seventh place, Paraguay, and eighth place, Ecuador. Now, Ecuador is looking a little tough for them. They would actually have to win both matches to try to clinch a spot. I personally don't see that happening, so I'm going to go ahead and knock them off. We're going to actually talk about the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Seventh technically if we put Paraguay in there, but they have a couple of challenging spots. Now let me go ahead and touch on Argentina, since they will be playing Peru tomorrow, which is the fourth and fifth place spots here on the qualifiers. If we take a look at the points, Peru has 24. Argentina is also with 24, but the goal difference puts Peru in fourth place, Argentina in fifth. Argentina has actually an easy matchup coming up against Peru in Argentina. But the thing is that Argentina has, in recent times, find it very hard to score goals. I mean, if we look at the scores, the goals they've had 16 goals, which is actually the lowest scoring team next to Venezuela and Bolivia, which they're in last place. And actually Venezuela, who is in last place, has more goals than Argentina. And when we think of Argentina, what do we think? I mean, strikers.
Yeah.
All of them. You name them. Higuain, Aguero, Messi. I mean, Dybala now is also in the come up. So it's going to be very interesting. I mean, I'm hoping Argentina is able to demonstrate what they do. They have the powerhouse. They have no midfield. It's embarrassing to watch. Argentina's midfield is whoever you can pick up out of the street. Just throw them in there. Let's see how they do today. That's going to be the hard part. But I definitely see Argentina getting a win. It's going to be a sad win, as it always is. I haven't seen a good game by Argentina since, like, I think what was it, like the quarterfinals of the World Cup. They won like 6-0. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But no, I don't see that happening. I mean, 1-0 maybe, goal by rebound from Higuain. That's my take on that game.
So yeah, man. I mean, we need Argentina in the World Cup. Let's be honest, guys. We all want to see Messi play in the biggest stage. I mean, what a disappointment it would be if we don't have Messi in the tournament. I think it's very essential for Argentina to qualify. I ultimately think they are. I mean, I know Peru is going to be a tough match. It's not going to be easy, but ultimately I think that Argentina, with a grind-out victory, maybe a 2-1, 1-0, but I think they'll definitely find a way. So I actually see them getting the full 6 points this international break. So that'll leave Argentina, I believe. I'm actually gonna have them in third place because I see Colombia. I see Colombia actually losing the game to Peru. I actually see Peru making it as the playoff seed.
Interesting.
And I don't see Chile qualifying, man. That's
a shocker.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know.
I mean, what you're stating right now is just pretty much that Chile, which has been making it in recent times, to be disqualified. And Peru finally making it. I mean, how long has it been? Good God. I mean, that's a shocker right there. Come on.
Exactly. But I don't know, man. I'm liking Peru. Maybe I'm a little biased, but
perhaps.
I want to see Peru in there, man. And I think it'll be great for them. And honestly, Chile haven't been performing well either. I mean, let's be honest. They dropped points at home. I believe it was to Paraguay. I think they lost 3-0. I mean, what a shock that was. So yeah, I don't see Chile making it. And I'm gonna put Peru up there, and Colombia gets in there as well. I think they'll win their match tomorrow. So it'll be Argentina third, Colombia fourth, and then Peru onto the playoff. I don't know if you want to add anything else.
Well, the thing is that the games we have coming up, I mean, it's going to be, just to keep in mind how close this is. I mean, the teams that are at the bottom are playing against the teams that are at the top. So Bolivia is going to be facing Brazil. They're going to go in the mountain. So that's always challenging. We know, I always stress this, playing in the mountain is unfair, is not right. They should switch it. They should play somewhere else. I don't care where it is. It's just not right, because I mean, Bolivia has not won a single game home in how long? I don't know if they've actually did they win the I'm sorry, away, not at home. They haven't won a game at away in the longest time. And if it's been one, it's been one. All right, it's the exception, not the rule. As far as Uruguay, they're going to be playing Venezuela, which I don't think it's going to be an easy game, but I think they'll be able to pull it off. Like we said, Argentina plays Peru. I expect them to win that game. And Chile plays Ecuador. That's where it's going to come down to. If Chile can actually pull off that game, then we might have to rethink some predictions on here. And then Colombia plays Paraguay. I think
Colombia takes care of business.
I
honestly think so. I think they get the 3 points, and Colombia's in the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean that's going to secure them a spot. That's going to be an easy one. But yeah, that's pretty much what it's coming down to. All these games, they're all going to be tomorrow. They're going to be between 4:00 and 7:30. So if you're planning on doing some tomorrow, just put it off. This is a lot more important. This is what decides the World Cup in the next 2 days. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, so moving on from the South American qualifier, let's move over to the European side. And I want to touch bases. Obviously, being Portuguese, I want to talk a little bit about Portugal and how our group is looking like. We have Switzerland in first place right now. They're ahead of us by 3 points. But I think the first game that we actually played against Switzerland was kind of a fluke. I think we were kind of on a high after just winning the European Championship. So we were kind of, on our high horses type thing. So I think we took that game a little bit for granted. I think we were definitely cocky. Plus, Ronaldo was missing. I mean, it's Ronaldo. It's like Messi missing for Argentina. It's just not the same team.
No,
so
that's true.
With Ronaldo back, I mean, we've been high. We've been scoring like crazy. We finally have a striker, Andrés Silva, who's a freaking beast. Him and Ronaldo have been making a great connection, no doubt. The only thing I'm worried about is our defense. Pepe's getting a little older, but Pepe, for whatever reason, when he puts on that Portugal jersey, man, he balls.
Yeah, but I mean, on that note, you guys have only been scored 4 goals in the entire qualifier.
For sure. I'm talking about going for, because I see us, we're getting to the World Cup. I see us winning our next 2 games. We're playing Andorra away. I think that's going to be an easy 3-4-0. And then Switzerland at home. I think it's going to be a little closer because Switzerland are going to come, trying to prove something. But ultimately, the game's going to be at the Stadio de Luz, and we know what a great atmosphere that's going to be. For the national team, the players, they're going to feed off the crowd, and I think it's going to be like a 2-1, maybe a 3-1 victory. But we're going to be in the World Cup. I'm excited for that. So that's all I have to say in regards to Portugal. So
these and that's the thing when you talk about the European qualifiers, it's usually easy just to pinpoint which ones are going to make it. I mean, you have big teams and a whole bunch of scrubs in the rest of the group. I mean, that's why it's
true. It's true.
It's easier to point them out. I mean, like we were talking about in the South American one. I mean, you had all these great teams. Well, for the most part, all these great teams that at least have a little more talent. And if you look at the group, like you were mentioning, in the group of Portugal, I mean, the bottom ones is Latvia, Andorra, the Faroe Islands, Hungary, who's trying to keep on there. And then if you, for example, go into Group A, where it's France, Sweden, Netherlands, okay, Bulgaria, Luxembourg, and Belarus. Now, in this group, it's a little interesting. And I'll point this one out too, because it's something that I want everybody to keep an eye out. In this group, we have France in first place, Sweden second, and the Netherlands in third place. Netherlands are actually playing for a spot in the playoff game to be able to make it to the World Cup. So this is something interesting. Sweden right now is actually ahead.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about the Netherlands, man, I don't know what's going on with them, but they just haven't been performing all of World Cup qualifiers.
Yeah, and last World Cup, we were talking about they had some great youth. They were coming. Well, I mean, Robin was kind of on his last leg, but I mean, they made it pretty far. I mean, they barely lost to Argentina by what was it, PKs?
It went to PKs.
I mean, so it wasn't like they've actually lost to get eliminated. So it's kind of crazy that after 4 years, they're barely. And the group is not hard, like I was saying. The Belarus.
Well, Sweden ain't bad, man. Sweden got some players.
Very true, but some players. They've lost 3 games so far in that group.
Yeah.
I mean, what did they lose? Twice to France and once to Sweden. It was France also has the game lost. So it's kind of concerning to keep in mind. I mean, they got killed by France 4-0.
So what's your prediction? Netherlands or Sweden in that last spot?
Oh, I got Sweden in there. I want to see Netherlands just get kicked the hell out of this game. I mean, I think Netherlands have put it off till too late. I'm expecting Sweden in the upcoming games.
I see Sweden dropped points. I forget how long ago it was. It was against Bulgaria. They dropped points, and so
that was an away game, and it was a 3-2, by the way. So keep that in mind.
It was, man, but it was one of those games where they went in, on their high horse as well, I guess you could say. But I'm going to go with the Netherlands, man. They play at home against Sweden. That I think is going to decide that group. So I'm going to roll with the Netherlands. Hey, we'll see who's right, who's wrong.
I'll come back to see you on this one. Don't worry. All right. So, I mean, that's pretty much encompassing the whole the whole European. I mean, if we look at all the other groups again, anybody that you want to talk to about the Germany, they're already in there. I don't know, the Poland and England.
Yeah, Poland's in. I think England's going to go in.
Italy, they're already going. I mean, Belgium, they already ran away.
See, the crazy thing about Italy is that group, they had Spain, and Spain is looking phenomenal. They are looking like an early favorite for the World Cup. So Italy's going to have to go through the playoff, and I feel bad for any team that has to play Italy because Italy is Italy. Italy is a great team. The only reason that they're not in first is because Spain just has a better squad, but that's nothing to take away from Italy because they have a good squad as well.
No, I mean, these are powerhouses. Yeah. I mean, it's not like you want to ever take anything away, regardless of whether have good players or bad players. You always keep them in mind. I mean, no one's playing them off, but also just to keep an eye out for the upcoming matches.
Yeah, for sure. So moving on from the European, let's talk our final one here on soccer, the CONCACAF. Right. And right now we have Mexico in first, Costa Rica second, Panama third, and then the U.S. in that final playoff spot. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on the U.S. I don't know why the hell they brought back Bruce Arenas. All right, I'm going to be serious. I don't know why they brought him back. Yeah. It's just the team has been playing so poor, bad from what I've seen. Okay, like it's been truly sad that they can't get in a spot right now with a group of Panama and Costa Rica. Okay, I can understand Mexico.
Yeah.
But come on, Panama. How are we not ahead of Panama? Like, come on. So, but with that being said, I still expect them to qualify. They'll probably finish third. Which is still pretty upsetting, being the U.S., being in the CONCACAF. But like I said, I think the rehiring of Bruce Arenas was a mistake on our part.
Yeah.
So I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. No, I mean the U.S. has lost to Costa Rica. Yeah. Which they are in second place. So let's keep that in mind. But I definitely see them making it through again, even if it's in third or fourth. I definitely think that this game,
the U.S. is good.
Yeah. So I mean, the CONCACAF is pretty much set to go. Mexico's in, Costa Rica's in, Panama is looking. That's the crazy part. I don't know if Honduras by some miracle might pull something out of their ass, but I don't see it happening. To be honest, it's just what it is at this point. I think it's going to stay the way it is. Maybe the U.S. might jump up to third place and they won't have to play that playoff match, which at this point, I don't even know who's going to be against. I mean, they usually...
Yeah, honestly, I have no idea how the hell FIFA does it. I don't know if it's like all that...
New Zealand or something. I don't know.
Some shit like that. I honestly couldn't tell you.
Put something there. Fill in the blank with whoever you want to see him play. We'll check out the comments who you want to see Panama play or the U.S. play in the playoffs.
So that pretty much wraps it up as far as the international stage. So now I'm going to switch gears here and let's talk football, man. Let's talk football. And I want to start with that Monday night game, okay, between the Washington Redskins and the Kansas City Chiefs, because I don't think anyone thought that the Redskins were going to go in there and make this game as close as they did. So let me get your takes on it, because I know how much you love the Redskins. So go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have a burning love-hate relationship with that team. And not so much with the team. It's just that they are a number one quarterback killer. I cannot stand the fans, to be honest, but hey, that's what we're here for. Have an open conversation. I'll be happy to have any Redskins fans sit next to me, and I'll go one-on-one with them and let them know how I feel about them. But anyways, back to the game. Kansas City played very, very poorly. I was expecting a complete destruction after I saw the Redskins beat Oakland the previous week, which I don't think anybody had that happen. I mean, were you thinking that was going to be the Oakland Raiders?
Yeah, I mean that was a shock too. But Oakland hasn't looked sharp either. To be honest with you, it has dropped another game.
Yeah, now Carr is
Yeah, and now
he's
Carr's
out.
hurt for
Oh,
2 to 6 weeks. You got EJ
that's
Manuel
major.
as the
That's major.
backup. Hey, maybe we'll see Kaepernick, but highly doubt it.
Yeah, no,
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, let's start another movement for that one. But no, in all seriousness, I expected Kansas City to do a little better. The Redskins shocked me due to a poor pass. They lost last. I mean, a catch. I mean, that reception that was dropped at the end. It was just sad. It was sad to watch, and watching it with some Redskins fans, they were just so quiet. You know, they didn't know where to hide after that.
Yeah, they started out really hype, and then they slowly but surely went into their depression stage. But my thoughts on it, first and foremost, Washington Redskins, pay Kirk Cousins, pay that man. He deserves it. Stop hitting him with the franchise tag. This is your franchise quarterback. He put you guys in prime position to win the game through. I mean, his throws, the first touchdown to Terrell Pryor, I mean, it was perfectly thrown.
Yeah.
The one to Josh Doxson, he threw it where only he could get it, and Doxson couldn't. I mean, he made the catch, but then on the way down, he dropped it.
Fell on the ball. I mean, he was trying to bounce off. I mean, did you see that? He was trying to bounce off, like protect himself.
You got to make those catches. I mean, the Redskins fans overhype this guy. I mean, I definitely see him as a promising player, but you got to make them catches. You got to make those catches. Yeah. So I think the Redskins kind of screwed themselves over in that game because they could have gone into Arrowhead, stolen it, made a statement, but that didn't happen. And I think the Washington Redskins defense has gotten a lot better since last year. I mean, Josh Norman is balling. And if you looked at that game, they were dropping like flies.
Oh, my God.
They were all dropping like flies.
Every play. Someone else going down. I mean,
it got so bad that I was like, all right, who's the next player to go? Yeah. Who's the next player to drop?
It was literally waiting to see who was going to drop next. I mean, it was sad to watch, to be honest. I think if they would have had everybody there, it would have been a lot better. I honestly think right now the Ravens should be looking at Kirk Cousins at this point because they've been looking sad too. Yeah, I mean, good God. But no. Kirk Cousins, by the way, I saw the contract. I was reading up on this after we had a little conversation on this one. He actually declined the contract, and he chose the 1-year contract.
He wants more money. Pay the man his money.
I completely understand. But at this point, let's keep in mind.
Hey, Kirk Cousins, we take you down in Miami. We'll pay you whatever. We give you a blank check. We'll take you down in Miami.
I mean, you guys have Jay Cutler. That's easy.
Yeah, we're about to dive into that, but not just yet.
But yeah, no, he declined it. He got, I mean, how much is he getting paid for this season?
I don't know if it's 23 or 24 million.
Amount. Yeah. He declined a $53 million contract, and that was a guarantee.
Good.
And
he needs more. Pay him.
I'm sure. I think if he had a better team around him, he might be doing a little better too, to be honest. And I didn't like him either, but honestly, he's been showing that the problem with the Redskins is clearly not the offense.
No. I mean, it's. I mean, if you looked at it last year, it was on the defensive side of the ball. I think they've definitely improved a lot, but I think they're still not there yet. But I think as the season progresses, this defense is definitely gonna get a lot better.
Yeah.
They just got to build that chemistry, man. They got a couple new players in, so. I think the Redskins are kind of a team to watch out for. They're on my list.
Yeah.
I didn't have them in the playoffs, but I didn't expect them to be doing this.
Second place. I know my Birds are going to be out there.
So let's get into that. Let's talk about your Philadelphia Eagles, my man. 3-1, off to a flying start. Let me know your thoughts.
All right. As for the Eagles, I started 3-1. Honestly, the game we lost. I was not, I guess, not expecting it. I definitely, like I said, Kansas City is the only team that's left undefeated. So having a loss to them is not that big of a shocker.
No.
They beat everybody else. I actually have Kansas City high up there as for what they've been showing me. Although they barely beat the Redskins, they barely beat the Eagles. It was 27-20. Technically, if you take out that last touchdown at the end of the game, it was 23-20. So they have been close games. Let's keep that in mind. But no, I definitely have seen a lot of improvement from last season since the Eagles in the offseason actually had some great pickups. I mean, even though we just lost Sproles. We actually had LeGarrette Blount now, so
Yeah.
he's been covering that position
What a
very
pickup that
well.
was.
Yeah, so I'm not complaining in that aspect. I see them definitely having a great season. Maybe not. I know I was a little more optimistic at the beginning of the season, thinking that they would go.
You and me both.
Yeah,
Well,
thinking they would go like 12-4, But let's be a little more realistic. After last season, that we ended up what 6-10, something like that.
Yeah.
One game away from the Redskins.
So let me ask you something. Do you see the Eagles winning their division?
I do. I certainly do. After seeing the horrible Giants, I mean, they're 0-4. They're done.
Yeah, I think we can count the Giants out.
Cowboys
they're definitely out.
have been on the edge. I mean, they're
See,
2-2.
Yeah, but the Cowboys have so much talent and they have the best offensive line in football, in my opinion. So I can't throw Dallas out of the mix yet. But if it was me, I had picked the Eagles to win the division before the season started, and I had the Cowboys finishing in second. Mm-hmm. So from what I've seen so far this season, I'm sticking to that. But yeah, you can't count Dallas out, and like I said, you can't count out Washington, man. They're both 2-2.
I mean,
so
yeah.
We'll see what happens moving forward. Now let's talk about the Dolphins.
Ooh, good God. Oh, tell me how you feel. I mean, look, listen, let me put this out there. We all knew the quality of quarterback that the Dolphins were picking up. Okay, so let's start with that. They had some options, because let's not forget that they did have Kaepernick to pick up.
Yeah, or like a homeless man off the street before we went to go.
Someone from 7-Eleven.
Bring Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler. Here we go.
Good guy. Yeah.
We brought fucking Jay Cutler to Miami.
A lot of passion.
Okay, I understand the connection with Adam Gase, and they were in Chicago, and he had like his greatest freaking year. Whoop-de-freaking-do. All right.
Year, by the way.
What was that? 4 or 5 years ago? I forget. Jake, this man was retired. He didn't even want to come back. We had to convince him.
He's been on the league for what, 10 years now, and one off. I mean, how long has he been? He had one good season with Gase. All right, I get it. At what point do we say, all right,
now cut it now, get him the hell off the freaking team? But no, Adam Gase at the last press conference, they had asked him if the quarterback situation was going to be any different or what he plans to do, and he was like, well, going forward, it's still going to be Jay Cutler. What a stupid question, yada, yada, yada. And I'm sitting here as a Dolphins fan saying, God damn it, I have to watch another Sunday game with Jay Cutler as my quarterback. First off, we should be 0-3. We should be 0-3 because the only reason we beat the Chargers was because they missed the field goal. We didn't do anything. They missed the field goal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was watching that. It was sad.
So we were 1-0. I was a little bit on my high horse, of course, because you win one game as a Dolphins fan, and us Dolphins fans aren't used to winning. Let's be honest. So I'm thinking playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm thinking playoffs. All right.
As usual, yeah.
But man, so we have the Jets, and I'm like, okay, it's the Jets. This is the worst team in football. We got this.
Yeah, you guys.
We scored 6 goddamn points against 6 points against the goddamn Jets. The Jets, 6 points against. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Okay, moving on to the next week. We played in England against the Saints. Okay, so I'm like, all right, this is gonna. It's got to be a bounce back game. Okay, there's no way we're just gonna score 6 points. Well, guess what, boys and girls? We scored 0 points against a terrible. The Saints don't even play defense. So the fact that we scored 0, I mean.
Let me ask you something on that point, because I did see also the Baltimore Ravens have one of the worst games I've ever seen in football when they went to England. What part do you think that played in the Dolphins actually also having to fly there? Because I know it's something big, and I know players don't actually want to go there, and it's a lottery. That's how they get picked to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think the traveling definitely plays a fatigue, especially because we were on the West Coast and we had to fly out to New York, and then from New York all the way to England. So it plays a little factor, but to be honest, I think if we had anybody but Jay Cutler on our team, we would have won. That's how bad Jay Cutler is. I'm serious. So I'm so serious. And the part that pisses me off the most about Jay Cutler, he doesn't give a shit. If you look at him, he doesn't care. Throw Matt Moore in there. He sucks, but God damn it, he cares.
I will actually point something out here. When on the first drive, okay, the Dolphins went. Was it the second drive? Oh, it was the first drive. Okay,
First drive,
good.
first
Just
drive.
making sure here. On the very first drive of the game, they take it all the way down, and I was like, "Good God,
Yeah,
what is
man. I
going
was
on?"
like, holy crap, here we go.
And the man throws the pass to a receiver who is not even
Wasn't
yet.
even-
He wasn't even turned around yet. The
No.
defender was actually staring at him. Throw that pass. He guided it the entire way. And after the receiver, after the defender grabs the ball, picks it up, the interception is done. He goes out of the field and he blames it on the microphone. He was pissed off at the fact that his speaker, because the audio
Yeah,
was
the mic,
broken.
you're right,
Their mics
right.
were broken, so he had to walk to the side and get the play. As if those 2
Had
seconds.
nothing to do
It's an inconvenience. I get it. I completely understand that. But instead of saying, "Oh shit, what a shitty pass," look down, take off your helmet, and just shut up. No, the man's like, "Oh, my helmet's not working over here." I mean, this guy looks drunk when he's out there. I don't know why they would have said. They looked at Kaepernick. And they said, "Oh yeah, but look at that shirt he wore. We don't want to. We don't want
Fidel Castro shirt."
Yeah,
so
I
I know that was going to be a
I
problem
care-
going into it.
I care more about if he wears a Fidel Castro shirt than if I want to actually win. You know what I'm saying? It's either a shirt. What do you want to
I
see?
mean,
Your team,
yeah,
what,
but-
10-6, or you want to see him 0-16?
I get that.
It doesn't make
I
sense.
completely trust me. I completely understand that. I was all for Kaepernick going to Miami, but I knew for a fact that the whole Fidel Castro shirt thing with Miami having so many Cubans, that was going to play a part into it. So unfortunately, we didn't get him, and instead we ended up getting Jay Cutler. It's going to be a long season, Dolphins fans. It's going to be a long season. I think this offseason we need to draft a quarterback, because I don't think Tannehill is the answer, but that's really all I have to say about the Dolphins so far this season. I'm sure I'll have a lot more to say after this Sunday. We play the Titans, but
All right,
I don't like our chances.
Let me ask you a couple questions here, because I know a lot of our listeners are local fans of teams here. So let me ask you a couple questions here.
Okay.
Where do you see, number one, the record of the Redskins at the end of the season?
The Redskins. This is tough, man. I want to say somewhere between 8-8, 9-7. 8-8, 9-7.
8-8, 9-7. All right. I put them always there, always in the middle of the table. Always. See, for me, that's a thing of Washington teams. It's always close enough, but never there, right? For years and years and years. No matter what sport you pick. I mean, just to get a little off topic here, let me put it when it comes to basketball. Always in the playoffs, always coming up, looking great, out. You go to baseball, best record in the league, boom, out in the playoffs. You look at NHL, hockey, exactly. You got NHL. The Caps are looking sensational. Oh my God, we have never seen this team playoffs lost to the Penguins, to the things, to the that, to the. I mean, they find a way. They find a way to lose. That's the problem with the Redskins, with every Washington team. So I'll see the Redskins. You know what? Fine. If they want to 8-8, that sounds like a great prediction, because they'll always be right there in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of leaning toward 9-7 a little bit, just because, like I said, I feel like that defense, the course of the season, is gonna get better, and their offense is nice, man. Like I said, I love Kirk Cousins, so I think if the defense can hold up their end, I mean, I think the offense is gonna ball out. So I think that's actually all we have as far as for the football segment. So let's move on to basketball.
Ooh,
so. Obviously, we had the Carmelo Anthony trade going down to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Give me your thoughts on that.
I'm actually not a big Carmelo fan. I think he's already done. Honestly, it was like watching Kobe Bryant the last 2 seasons. It was just get out of it already. I mean, you did, and not to put him on the same category. I definitely think Kobe's a lot better than Carmelo. But just to say the fact that this guy is already done.
See,
I think the amount that he has to put in is less than the amount he's taken out by keeping someone in there. I definitely think they can find someone better. Hey, he might surprise me, but that's just my standing.
I think he's going to surprise you. I think Carmelo is finally going to play motivated. Okay,
yeah, I mean, he did play for the Knicks.
He was on the
win.
He was on the Knicks. It was a poor squad. Now he's coming to OKC. We know they're going to be in the playoffs. They have a chance to make a deep run. So I think Carmelo's going to come out highly motivated. And, obviously the addition of Paul George over there, I think is huge. I'm so excited to watch the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think Russell Westbrook, Paul George, Carmelo Anthony. I mean, I think they're going to start a little slow, just to build on that chemistry. But I think towards the end of the season, man, we're looking at one of the teams that potentially has the best chance to upset Golden State. I don't think they are, but we'll see. We'll see as the season progresses on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, as far as the Rockets, okay, the Rockets got Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chris Paul goes in there, and we actually thought Carmelo was going to go to Houston, but they didn't have enough trading pieces to acquire him. So he ends up going to Oklahoma City. But Chris Paul on the Rockets, I mean, yeah, it's definitely a big pickup for the Rockets. I'm still not going to put the Rockets above Oklahoma City or even the Spurs for that matter. So that's my take on the Rockets. I think Chris Paul is a very nice acquisition. Don't get me wrong. But I just think the Oklahoma City Thunder are better. And I still think the San Antonio Spurs are better, mainly because of the genius that Greg Popovich is. So what's your take on the Houston Rockets and them acquiring Chris Paul?
So this is where the hard part comes in. I definitely see Golden State already being in first place. The Thunder are looking great too. I mean, we saw what oh my God, I'm drawing a blank here. We saw what Russell Westbrook did by himself, may I add, looking just at triple doubles every single game, or the majority of the game. I mean, what he ended up with, like 30-something triple doubles. I mean, it was crazy. The man did it all by himself.
Yeah, I mean, he set the NBA record, I believe.
Exactly. So he destroyed it, to be honest. So do I think they might end up in second? They may surprise me. I mean, I'm a Spurs fan, and I'm always realistic when it comes to my team, unlike other fans, I might add, the Redskins. I'm realistic where they stand, and I saw that in first place it was going to be the Thunder because of their pickups. Rockets, they are looking pretty, but I don't think they have enough to be able to overtake either the Thunder or the Spurs at this point. So do I see him in a secure fourth? For sure. Is it going to be contested? Absolutely. Do I see him actually doing well enough to overtake the Spurs and the Thunder?
No.
Absolutely not. No.
But we'll see. Maybe we're wrong, and then the Rockets come out blazing, but I honestly don't think so. I mean, they're going to be a good squad for sure. I'm not putting them over the Thunder or San Antonio for that matter. Now, let's move over to the Eastern Conference, okay? Boston acquiring Kyrie Irving from the Cleveland Cavaliers. I did not see that one coming. I thought Kyrie was going to either land in San Antonio, maybe possibly the Heat. But he goes to Boston. So what are your thoughts on Boston? And do you think they have a team that can overtake the Cleveland Cavaliers for the Eastern Conference?
I definitely think it's a great pickup. I definitely think Kyrie is going to bring, I mean, this is what he wanted. He wanted to rule his own team. He wanted to do what LeBron was doing in Cleveland. He was tired of being that second guy that we all kept on saying LeBron was piggyback on him. So as it comes to the Celtics, I think they are still competing for first or second place. They have a couple nice pickups. Who was it? The other one was Hayward. That was,
Gordon Hayward from Utah. I think
exactly.
That's a very good pickup.
We had been talking about him. The white boy can shoot. All right, so let's just put it that simple. All right, so he's going to be doing well. I definitely expect big things. They're going to be rivaling again. Let's keep in mind that the Cavs will not have Isaiah Thomas until January, correct?
Yeah, I believe they said his return somewhere in the January time frame. So
even if it's a little earlier, somewhere around there, the point is that half the season's gonna be done by then. And so let's keep in mind that let's see what the chemistry is within the team, because that was their major trade. I mean, the major trade that they did is they gave up their second best player on the squad for this guy who's going to come at the second half of the season and hopefully retake the throne. So at that point, I hope that the difference between the Celtics and the Cavs is not that big. I think they might be able to actually take first if they can keep the lead at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, man. I think Boston, man, they just don't have a deep enough bench. I think Gordon Hayward was definitely a great pickup on their part. Kyrie obviously going there is going to be sick as well. But I still like Cleveland to come out number one. And let
Yeah.
me give you the reason why. They just signed my man, Dwayne Wade.
Oh yeah.
Dwayne Wade gets to play with LeBron James again.
Let me ask you a quick question. How is there any cartilage left on those knees by any chance?
Hey man, he was still dropping it last year in Chicago. He was still dropping it last year in Chicago. He
He
didn't have a
was.
bad year.
Remember that we're a year older again. So every time we got to keep that in mind.
Yeah, but also remember we're playing with LeBron again. We're not playing with scrubs in Chicago. We're playing with LeBron
No, good point.
James. We're playing with LeBron James. And Dwayne Wade knows how to play with LeBron. I mean, him and LeBron in Miami was so much fun to watch. So much fun to watch. Being a Heat fan, it was freaking awesome. I miss those days.
The winning days.
I truly miss those days, but I'm really pulling for Dwayne Wade, man. I kind of want to see the Cavs dethrone the Warriors in the finals. So I'm definitely excited to see their squad. They have Derrick Rose as
Yeah.
well. So they have a bunch of names on that roster. I want to see how it all comes together. But I still think that I'm still taking Cleveland number one in the East, and Boston to finish at 2. So
Yeah, same here.
that's my take on that. Now give me two MVP, 2 early season MVPs. Who do you think, if you had to pick your 2 MVPs for the NBA season, give me your 2.
All right. Well, we can't count on LeBron. He's gonna be up there. I mean,
Yeah.
they suck the guy off. I mean, yeah, he's putting up stats. Now who am I kidding? The guy is putting up stats. He'll be up there. Now the question is gonna be from what team is the other one to come? What team the other MVP is gonna come from? I think that it's still gonna stay in Golden State, and the reason I say that, I think the second MVP it's either gonna be Kevin Durant. I don't
That's a
think
good pick. I like that.
I don't think it's going to be Westbrook anymore. I think since he's going to have to split up his game a little bit now that he actually has teammates now. Hey,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So it might be Kevin Durant again. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I mean, honestly, I think it's going to be pretty simple. You know what? I'm not going to make it that hard. I'm going to leave it between them two. I think they'll be up there. What do you think?
So I'm actually going to give you a sleeper before I actually get to
Ooh.
my primary guy.
Snooze.
So Kawhi Leonard. I think
Oh, my
yeah,
man.
I think Kawhi Leonard is going to have a big year for the San Antonio Spurs. I really think so. His defensive game, we already know, is top notch. Probably the best defender in the league, to be honest.
It is true, but let me dispute that real quick, because I also think that you have to keep in mind that the MVPs also come from the top teams. If we're putting you said you were putting the Spurs in second place, right?
Well, I'm putting the Spurs in second place in the
Okay.
West. Yes, sir.
I'm putting them in third place. So I definitely don't see, even though I completely agree with you. I mean, the man he's if not the best two-way player in the NBA. He's up there. I mean, if you don't put him second, you'll
Top 5, top 3,
definitely
top 3,
You know,
top 3.
Exactly. So,
And
the only reason he won't make it there is I just think they're going to come out of a team that is the winningest, and that's why it's going to be easy to just point at Golden State and say that's the guy.
Yeah, but if we're going off that, I mean, the Thunder didn't really win a bunch of games last year.
No, but like I said, you had a guy who consistently threw.
No, for sure.
I mean, come on.
We're never going to see that. I don't think we'll ever see that again. I mean, that was absolutely insane by Russell Westbrook. But see, this is the thing about the San Antonio Spurs. When nobody talks about them in the offseason, when nobody talks about the Spurs being the favorites ever out of the West, it's the Thunder, it's the Warriors, it's the Rockets. No one's been talking about the Spurs. And this is when they come out. This is like Greg Popovich has shown in the past, hey, don't forget about us. We're still the goddamn San Antonio Spurs. And honestly, I see the Spurs finishing second in the West, and I see Kawhi having a big year. Like I said, his defense is top notch, and his offense gets better every year.
Yeah, I definitely think no one's going to downplay the Spurs. I mean, that's for sure. But I also think that they were expecting a few trades in the playoff that did not come through. I mean, at one point we were going to lose Aldridge, for God's sake, and then we were supposed to come and get someone else, and nothing came.
Right.
Nothing major.
Right, but let's not forget that the Spurs were up big against the Warriors until Kawhi went out with that ankle injury. They were up big. They were controlling the game.
Yeah. I mean, they were up 20 points.
I'm not saying San Antonio would have won that series, but it definitely wouldn't have gone down the way it did with Kawhi Leonard there playing. I mean, that's how good he is, and I feel like he doesn't get enough credit because the Spurs aren't that flashy of a team.
No, certainly, and most of the credit, a lot of the times, goes straight to Popovich. Yeah, exactly. Not to take any away from him. I mean, we have to keep in mind this man, the San Antonio Spurs don't know what it is to not go to a playoff. Let's keep that in mind. I mean, ever since this guy has been there, you're like, all right, where do you put him? Second, third? I mean, that's what we talk about. It's kind of crazy that a team for decade after decade, the only thing we're thinking about is, okay, where do you put him on the top of the West? And this is not the East, by the way.
No.
Okay,
God, yeah.
It's a lot harder over here, and they're actually matchups. There's players there. So yeah, that's just the main reason why I think they're there.
Yeah. So now let me give you my odds-on favorite for my number one choice in MVP. I think it's going to be LeBron James. And I say that because he's been talking all offseason. LeBron's been talking about how he had a great offseason. He changed some of his workouts. He feels the best that he's ever felt. And I think LeBron's going to play with a chip on his shoulder. I mean, the man's been to what, six NBA finals straight or 7? I lose track. That's how long
he's forgotten
it's been.
Not to what it is to be in the finals.
But I feel like he's going to play with a chip on his back, man. Especially after what the finals, what they went through, especially after losing Kyrie. So I think he's going to come out and play at a different level, another level we still haven't seen from LeBron. So just imagine LeBron, as great as he is, taking his game to another level. I think we're going to see that. I think it's going to be an unbelievable year for LeBron James. I'm so looking forward to seeing him and Dwayne Wade. If I had to pick right now, I want to say Cleveland beats the Warriors if and only if Isaiah Thomas comes back 100%, and maybe they pick up another player through a trade. But I'm liking Cleveland, man. I think LeBron's going to kill it.
I mean, they got Wade. That was something we weren't expecting. I mean, what else are they supposed to pick up? I mean, they got Isaiah, they got Wade, they got LeBron. I mean, if you think the starters they're looking good.
They said that they might trade maybe Kevin Love, or actually, I think they have the first round pick. I believe it's of the Brooklyn Nets, or I don't know. They have a top lottery pick though. I think it's like a top 5 pick that they were saying they could trade for DeMarcus Cousins. If DeMarcus Cousins go there, watch out.
Good God.
Just watch out.
No, that'll be stacked.
So
let me touch on one point before we finish real quick. It has been announced that the what is it? The
All-Star game?
The All-Star game is switching up a little bit. Tell me a little bit about that. What is happening with the All-Star game? Because it's going to be a lot different.
I'll simplify it for you real quick. The best players are in the West. They have a lot more players on the Western Conference than they do on the Eastern Conference. So they got to make it more competitive. So what is it that they're going to be doing? Because it's no longer going to be East-West now. No. So apparently what I've been reading up on is I believe they're still going to get voted to the All-Star game, and then 2 captains are going to be chosen, and then they choose the players.
Random captains, right? It's not necessarily going to be East and West. Do we know?
Exactly. I'm not sure. I don't know. I know it's just going to be 2 random captains selected. So, I mean, you could have Steph Curry and Klay Thompson playing against each other at the All-Star game. Honestly, I don't like it because I'm just so used to the Eastern Conference versus the Western Conference, and that's how I like it. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned, but who knows, man? Maybe this will make it a little bit more competitive. But as of right now, I'm not a fan, but we'll see come February.
For sure. I mean, listen, I've always thought of the All-Star game as more of a fun, East-West thing where you just see the players trying to show off a little bit, play around. You see their sportsmanship. So I think that this switch up, I don't know how it is. I don't know how it's going to be, but I never thought that it was competitive to begin with. So yes, the fact that we have all the major players except for LeBron on the West, it kind of prompts the NBA to want to do something different. So, I mean, we'll see. I'm not saying it's going to be good. I'm not saying it's going to be bad. We haven't seen it. They're trying to do something different. Let's just keep an open mind on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. So as far as the sports guys, that's pretty much what we had for you guys today. However, we want to do a little thing on our show where the fans or the followers of our show send us questions. So if you're on Twitter, uh, hit us up on. You just use the hashtag highly contested, and we'll go ahead and see your questions there. Or if you want to send them via email, you guys can do that too. And the email for that is highlycontestedhc@gmail.com. Or even if you guys want to give us feedback, go ahead and do that. And I know we also have a couple of podcasts that are listening to us right now that actually had me as a guest. And so shout out to the Portu Kids. They brought me on as a guest on their show, and they do a fantastic job covering the Portuguese league, and the chemistry between those three guys is amazing. They're hilarious. It was fun being a part of their show. If you guys want to follow them on Twitter, it's at the number 2 Portu Portu kids. So if you want to follow the Portuguese league, go ahead and give them a listen. And last but not least, the first podcast that ever invited me onto their air, which was Steph and Sam, man. Big shout out to you guys. Thank you guys so much for inviting me on your show. And if you want to follow them, they do a fantastic job covering Sporting. I mean, Steph does this thing where he talks about the sporting universe. He talks about the futsal team, the Sporting B team, handball, the women's team. I mean, they go full in depth. So to all the sporting fans, please check them out. And if you want to check them out, it's at SCP Updates EN. So please give them a listen. And we also, not only with the questions and answers, we also want to bring a couple of guests on the show.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you guys are interested in being a guest on the show, man, please hit us up. We're going to be making a Facebook page soon too as well. We got the Twitter page going up. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add.
Yeah, I actually want to go ahead and get with our fans real quick. I have seen a few comments here, and you did mention the 2 Portuguese kids commented, and they did leave us a comment here saying that Argentina was not making it to the World Cup.
Oh boy, here we go.
Now let me point something out to you, buddy, or guys. All right, as I do appreciate all the fan love here, but let me tell you something. We don't know what it's like not to go to a World Cup. Let me put it to you that way. So Argentina not making it is weird. No one wants to see that. That's the problem. If we talk about Portugal, I mean, what, you guys made it to six? Am I right? That's what we came up with. Six World Cups in just the past few decades.
Hey, don't be hating on us, man.
No hate at all here. I think
we about to win this shit.
Saying that Argentina's not making it is undermining the power of Argentina. Okay, this happened to us back in 2010, and then we lost in the quarterfinals to Germany, our daddy, when it comes to the World Cup. So I will mention that. And second, I also want to touch bases. I did get a comment from Martin. He wanted us to talk about a little about Cam
Newton.
All right, let me start with this one off too. He has been surprising me. Cam Newton has been surprising me.
He was not last season, because last season he was hurt.
Yes,
that MVP season, yeah, but ever since that MVP season, he's dropped. His performance has dropped. It's that simple.
That's fine, but after what I saw in the last performance against the Patriots, okay, I saw that man pushing. Not only this, I saw New England make fun of him over his little, celebration of the Superman throughout the whole game. Okay. And then they came back, and then the New England Patriots lost, which is hard for them to admit it. They lost, and Cam Newton was happily taking off his suits, putting on his cape, and flying the hell out of there. All right. With a victory against New England. So let's keep that in mind. I am turning a little bit around on Cam. I am having a little softer of a spot for him, even though I was not a big fan.
I'm not. I'm still not turning around on Cam Newton. Show me something else.
Well, all right, fair enough.
You know what? Show me more consistency. I want to see more consistency out of Cam Newton.
Let me put a caveat to that. You also expected great things from Cutler, so I'm just going to leave it at that.
You got to let that fucking week go. All right, just stop
It's
with the
been
Jay
more
Cutler
than
shit.
it
Just
was
stop
more
with
than
the
a
Jay
week.
Cutler.
We
It's
all
done.
know.
It's over with. Jay Cutler. I'd rather have a Rock. I'd rather have nobody as quarterback than have Jay Cutler.
Yeah, I mean Bubble Boy. I mean, or what was it, Bubble Boy from SpongeBob? I mean, it would have been better throwing a ball,
Anybody,
right?
anybody.
Yeah, oh mystery. But yeah, no, guys. Those were a couple of the comments I wanted to touch bases on. Yeah, I know, and the injuries, I get you. Some of the comments I wanted to touch base on it, and some of the, again, like I said, we're going to be touching a lot with our fans. We definitely want comments. We want you guys to be engaged with the show, so that's something we're going to be doing every show.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better. We definitely want the fans, the followers, to feel like they're a part of the show. So any feedback that you guys want to give us, shoot it out, good and bad. We want to get better as well. So yeah, guys, send us your thoughts, send us your questions. And that's it for me. I think this was fun as hell, man. I'm so happy we finally got it done. I was a little nervous in the beginning, but now I'm good. I'm having fun. I'm already excited for episode 2 and what we're going to talk about there. So
no, for sure. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. That this will be the last of this very first episode. Let us know, like Bruno said, let us know if there's anything we can improve on. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and that's all for today. Anything else you got to add?
That's it. Have a blessed week, everybody. Thank you for listening to us, and go Portugal.
All right, guys. Have a good one here.